Wow, this whole chapter was a huge eye opener in a big way. Hope you enjoy it. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. This is Sullivan asking my latest review on Attack on Titan, chapter 86, The Day. Hey, this chapter really shed a lot of light. We get to learn that this probably happened decades ago, or maybe before the walls. This is probably over a century ago. Oh, so that's at least. It seems that it seems that the world that Grisha came from was kind of futuristic. Not futuristic like modern. You have cell phones or whatever, but advanced enough. They had blimps. They could take pictures and stuff like that. Had people were rich and they had culture. And one guy said bloody. I think that's British, like blood, like bloody, like for a way of saying damn, like bloody. Like what, and the way they talk, like different. It seems that Grisha, the way he lived, he kind of the right of what you call. He was like in the minority, I think, like very low class on people's society. And so he was treated like trash for a long time. Like in their society, it seems rather bleak. Like in fact, I can see a lot of Aaron in him, like the way he was disgusted. Right, they hate the world for things going the way they are, like father, like son. And it's the same thing, kind of. It's like I'm looking at Aaron from a different perspective. Like, right, you understand, right? What I'm talking about. The way I see this, like Aaron, I see this. Grisha, he had a sister named Freya. Yeah, they were very good kids before things changed for them, and they went to follow the blimp and stuff, and they followed it, and they were treated like. Apparently, they're like they were like just kids, and they didn't do nothing wrong. But then things got bad for them right away. I mean, they got this soldier who was by the river. They were supposed to be on duty, but they were just sleeping and stuff like that. And saying that and you shouldn't be here without permission and stuff. You need a pass permit. They saying you're not here without permission. You will get punishment or whatever. And saying I'll take the punishment. And I'll take punishment for my sister. Well, take OB, and the guy knees him right in the stomach. I'm like, kneeing a child, just giving. How? I mean, what the hell is wrong with these people? I mean, it's obviously they were messed up from the beginning, but this is truly messed up because it gets worse. And after kneeing Grisha, the other soldier seems to take Freya home, and I'm quoting that, and because there's a big meaning for that. Because quoting home, like it's definitely thing. Has Grisha, was saying. I mean, Grisha took his beating like because he came without permission, and he knows that this place is messed up. He knows that it's messed up, overall. He knows that it's messed up. Yet the guy asked him to stay to watch the soldier. I think it was an excuse to keep him from what the guy was really doing to his sister, his partner. It later found out that his sister died, her body was found in the river, and her death was considered under unusual circumstances. I'm like, the soldier did something to her. He did something bad. I'll describe that later. Like he knew it was wrong. But one of the things I didn't like the most is that Grisha's father was a total coward. Like bowing to the government official of the city of apparently the city is called Endor or Mar or something. Like there are multiple continents, multiple cities and stuff like that. They were what you call cowards. Like he was what you call sacrilegious, bowing to the head. He sucked up to them to make sure he didn't get in trouble. Basically trying to save his own skin and skin of his whole family. So basically, he has to agree with the government official saying that it was an accident. Your daughter was murdered. I'm like, you're joking, right? The mom didn't do nothing. She just cried her eyes out and just agreed. But there was a part of her that was suffering. And one of the things I gotta note that Grisha was sad and horrid look on his face. Like there was a part of him that not only despite the soldier for what he did for his father for being a total coward. I'm like, Grisha had a messed up life. He's exactly like Aaron. Aaron, like you can see the parallels, the mirror between them. We also get to learn that the Titans existed as some kind of god or whatever. Apparently, some woman named Yomi. That's why I say Ymir. I think Ymir. As in Ymir from the 104 Cadet Corps. The one that could turn Titan and was Krista/Historia's friend. It shares the same name. Like, hey, Ymir made a deal with the devil for the power of the Titans and all, the power to change things, and it led to conflict and war throughout the country. and as to the world. So basically, like what you call it, like her, she used her power to change things, and because of that, there was a terrible war and a calamity before the land. Like she basically did, but she also gave power to and riches to the people. So she's kind of worked up as some kind of god by certain people. It seems that Grisha's father is what you call sacrilegious, but also a coward. He reminds me of the priest, from when we saw from the hole in the wall, or when we saw the Titan was inside the wall. Now we know that Titans created the walls because of the power of the first king wiping away those memories and stuff like that. But they're using their power. Or I think they were. I think he's like kind of like that, sacrilegious scumbag, overall. Eventually, Grisha's, as he got older and older, her society still looked down on him for not being what you call special or rich, overall. Hating his father, all the while hating this world society. I feel bad for Grisha as a person because he went through a lot. As a kid, eventually he became in the head of his father's clinic, and became a medical doctor. Apparently, his father was a physician. Overall. However, because of that, he caught the attention of this group called Night Owls. Owls, they were what you call opposed to the government. In exchange for Grisha joining, he would offer information how his sister died. Apparently, his sister was mauled to death by dogs. I'm like, you tortured an innocent girl for dogs just for trespassing. That is harsh. And I've seen this in the world of other animes, I mean, this is not the first time. I've seen cruelty and messed up for sacrilegious and stuff like that because of cruelty and outcasting people. I mean, there was the Britannians and Japanese. He's Code Geass, Solution Rebellion. Danzo with the Uchiha clan to Shippuden. There are probably others. Well, there are others, and Attack on Titan later, we have other societies, like people being treated like dogs and stuff like that, and we get to learn that Orientals, Japanese, things were wiped out, Asians were wiped out, and were very rare and lived different lives, It's pretty sad when you think about it. Very, very sad, overall. Grisha eventually learned the truth. He joined them in hope of changing society and overthrowing the government. They were like a military movement. It was kind of like the revolution, like revolution, kind of like a U.S. revolution overall. How they were making their moves, like overall, they were citizens of the government, but they didn't want to follow their ideals, their ways. They wanted things to be different. They even wanted to gain some of that Titan power for themselves, or overall to use it against them in hopes of changing it for the better, overall. And then came and answered the hope of a woman. That woman being Dana Fritz. Apparently, she's a descendant of the royal family. The royal family apparently abandoned the country and left a century ago, and leaving people to fend for themselves because of the calamity and onslaught of war because of the Titans. Apparently, she wanted. Apparently, several family members, broke off because of disagreements or dysfunction or whatever. And so she's trying to help. She's trying to help the rebels. She's kind of like the Princess Leia in this situation. If you want to go all Star Wars on her, as Princess Leia overall, and that basically makes Grisha Han Solo. So she basically agreed to help them, overall. Then and she will use her family lineage to have Titan power or to help them change the evolution and do things differently overall. Eventually, he and Grisha hooked up like a year after, got married, and had a kid named Zeke. Zeke. You named the kid Zeke, so that's not. That's Zeke. That's pretty, thing. That basically makes him what you call Ben Solo or Jason Solo if you want to go to the expanded universe. The original continuity before it was crafted to Legends. That basically makes Zeke Kylo Ren, and I'm gonna use that words. They lived a good life. I mean, overall, things started to change, and they had technology. Things were advanced, but they still focused on their dreams, their revolution of changing the countryside, changing society, and their hopes was also being this child, of being this boy Zeke. You tried to use him in as best they can. Apparently, there was some kind of selection where they used five, or they had to send a child and children who are at the age of 5 as selection to join their ranks in the army. I'm like, and to try to use this child as a weapon. I mean, that's some. I mean, I know Grisha hated the government. I mean, you used your own son as a weapon. I'm like, he did that to Aaron, not to Aaron, but now we know he did. It's not the first time. He did this to his other son as well. That paints a very bold and dark picture of Grisha when you think about it. And in the end, it didn't work. When the boy turned 7, he turned against his family, sold them out to the government, and they were sentenced to be thrown on an island where the family, where Titans roamed and stuff, and they were going to be devoured. I know I kind of butchered a lot of the explanation. Overall, I butchered a lot of it, and some of my things may be askew, and some of what I'm saying is very askew and very hard to understand. But you gotta think about it. Children aren't weapons. You can't treat people so badly. Grisha. I know he grew up in a crappy life at fighting with, but seriously, we knew nothing a lot about Grisha. We know that he came from outside the walls, and people existed outside the walls, and we know from the picture that we know there was a lot more to society, and we do. Grisha lived outside before the walls were erupted. Mankind, had technology and stuff, but they were fighting with each other because of hierarchy, rank, riches, and stuff like that. You were treated like society treated you less. I mean, it's kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D. If you know about 5Ds, tops and commons, New Domino City and the satellite, that's kind of like 5Ds when you think about that. But, that's just another one of the thoughts that came to my head. Now, I know things, treating people so badly just because they're different from you is not right. And because of that Grisha ended up despising and hating the world as such. I wish that it didn't have, and I think this will lead to the ultimate conclusion on how the walls became erupted, when Titans really came from. It's definitely very unique when you think about it, And this just opens up a whole bunch of doors, answers a lot of questions, and lets you think like all this happened so long ago, yet and it did nothing, and things just kept on getting worse, eventually ending up to what happens in the future, to Grisha having Aaron's mother being killed, overall. That just leads to just sad history. Those who failed history ultimately doomed to repeat it. Those are my words, and words that people should listen. And overall, hope you enjoyed the expanded comment subscribe. Thank you. This is Sullivan. Now let's give you my review on Attack on Titan chapter 86, The Day. Oh, man, very, very dark. I wish it didn't happen. Part of me wish that better off doing a live reaction video. I'm out. Bye.